All right, so in the course, it will be updated about um, gaps in general. Like this is a SMT field that you want to avoid, bro. Because what it's doing is yes, you have an SMT field one assets, but you're creating a future gap on another one. Like this is a hard thing to trust, right? Because if this kind of closes, like not an expansion candle, for example, it's gonna fill this gap in. Like you see how it's just closing a. I mean, maybe at the time you don't really know how it's gonna close, but like for example, like this, look how it closes. This is kind of bullshits. Like right, we could have easily just taken it out and then gone. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I mean by it's gonna create a future gap on this SMT. So it's not really an SMT fill you want to trust. This doesn't happen too often. But yeah, this is also not necessarily a strength switch. I mean, I guess it could be considered if using like this 30-minute. I don't know. I mean, technically it is. I guess you could say where like this is the high. It's just an eternal high in here. But you'd still want to long this asset because it has the overall draw liquidity still intact. You know, so you'd still want to long this asset here. It's actually stronger, right? Um, so like that's also the thing. You're kind of picking the wrong asset as well. So if you were to long this one, I mean, you would have got lucky. And here's why you would have got lucky. So obviously you can't enter here, bro. You can't just enter this right here, right? Also, I'd probably avoid the 1 minute, by the way. I would definitely avoid the 1 minute on these assets here. I would probably do that, okay? Not on oil. I would really avoid the 1 minute on oil unless you're using a 15-minute model or something. I would stick to like 3 minute, 5 minute. It's just too wicky and stuff like that, too gappy in price. But yeah, you can't enter this first CST. You gotta enter like this gap or something to get a smaller stop loss. That gives you 1.3 R to the high. You gotta extend it, you know, to right there. And then maybe when you hit this high, you can go break even or something like that. But this would technically be your entry. Ideally, is this one right here. But at this point, I just you can't even trust it honestly because look at there's 30 minutes in the candle. There's 30 minutes into this S&T basically, and we haven't gone anywhere. You know, like this looks like consolidation. So I wouldn't even enter this because I mean I can already anticipate that probably, dude, this is gonna close like not very strong, and then you're creating a future gap. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna see that you would have got lucky because we literally do that exactly where we do not even close strong and we still expand. Like that's just luck, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, it's just luck. It does expand away higher, creates SMT here, and then that causes price to, trade into the gap. So that's just kind of lucky, honestly. So if you would have taken that right asset, you just got lucky. I'm not gonna lie. But that's the important of actually trading the strongest asset because, anyways, if it did hit the gap, let's say it did hit the gap first. Obviously, this is the asset that should be trading into the gap because it's weaker. Well, this one does not trade into the gap, which is technically this low, which is what your stop loss is on. So either way, you would be okay in the trade because this stronger asset, it shouldn't be taking out this low. This asset should be taking low, which is the gap high. So it's kind of two things wrong with this: the gap selection, and then the wrong assets.